Don Champion is following the latest in Daytona Beach, Florida. Looks like a beautiful day right now, Don, so people should really be preparing while they have the good weather.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jamie. Officials here in Florida are stressing that today is the day to prepare for Matthew. The situation here will go drastically downhill tomorrow. As you can see behind me, some tourists here along Daytona Beach are trying to soak up as much sun as they can as the storm churns its way. Many of them actually tell me weather-wise, this today is actually the best day of the week so far for them. But residents here do appear to be taking this storm very seriously. When we arrived here, we went to some stores. Stores were selling out of water and food items. At gas stations, people have been lining up since yesterday, filling up their tanks, also taking some home for generators and things of that nature. So it does appear that people are taking this storm seriously. Now, when it comes to the tourists, we actually spoke to one woman. She's from Canada. Her family was supposed to be here until next Tuesday. They're actually heading home tomorrow ahead of the storm. So we're certainly hearing a lot of that as well today, Jamie.
You know, I have to ask you, these storms can take many different turns. You now have Florida in that cone of uncertainty. What areas right now do we know of that are expected to get hit the hardest in coming days?
Yeah, that's really the uncertainty at this hour, Jamie. The National Hurricane Center says that when hurricanes like Matthew really skirt so close to the coast, it's really hard to talk about direct impacts on communities around here this far in advance. But certainly people here are bracing for the possibility that Matthew could strengthen even more as it churns and heads this way. Folks here are bracing for hurricane force and tropical force winds. Also up to 10 inches of rain could fall because of the storm. Also very destructive and dangerous storm surge in the area of more than 6 feet where we're hearing here in the Daytona Beach area. So a lot to certainly worry about with this storm. And again, the National Hurricane Center says that even a slight jog to the west by the storm as it skirts up the coast could mean very destructive and dangerous consequences for people here. Again, it's the reason why officials are telling folks that today is the day to prepare for this storm.
You know, by the time you get to October, you're really feeling like, okay, maybe we're in the clear. I know hurricane season goes to November 30th, but this is a big storm, and as you were just explaining, could have significant impacts. I know President Obama met with FEMA teams earlier today. What can you tell us about that meeting?
Yeah, and I think actually, Jamie, this is the first storm to hit this part of Florida since Wilma several years ago. We do know President Obama did cancel a planned trip to Florida today because of the storm. Instead, he headed over to FEMA in Washington, D.C. to get an update on the federal response. We do know that FEMA has already pre-positioned supplies in states like Georgia to prepare for the disaster response in the coming days. They've also activated several emergency centers that will help them respond. In terms of the state of Florida, the governor here says that about 6,000 National Guardsmen and women are already on standby, ready to deploy in response to Matthew. But even in saying that, the governor said that they will not put the lives of first responders in danger tomorrow and Friday as Matthew moves in this area. So that's one of the reasons why he was very adamant in telling folks that they need to evacuate, especially along these barrier islands and folks who live along some of the coastal areas. He will not put those first responder lives in danger.
Yep, absolutely. Don Champion, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.